Hello guys, welcome to Dragon Ball Super episode 26 review. Before we begin this review, I'd like to thank everybody who has subscribed to me. I've gotten at least 5 new subscribers. Very, very appreciative of that. I'm not the pandering sort, but let's jump right into this review, because this review, oh my goodness, this episode I liked it. I think it fixed a lot of things. We begin with Frieza pretty much dominating Goku, to the point where everybody is actually talking about how much that they are afraid. Like, they are like legit afraid of Frieza. They're like, they can't believe this is happening. Whis and Beerus go on to say that Vegeta could, maybe it was just Whis, but they say that, I think it was Beerus actually, but they go on to say that if Vegeta joined in, that they could beat Frieza. But Whis goes on to say that that won't happen because they're too proud. They won't even work together for a common goal. They'd rather die. And the other guys try to get in on it, but basically, which is true but still kind of annoying, they say that they're too weak and nothing will work if they try to do anything. It's just a waste, which takes me back to GT in a way, but I mean, that's kind of how Dragon Ball has created these other characters to be. So that's just, you know, you can't avoid it. This whole thing, during this whole episode, Jacko is just constantly getting berated and beaten on by Bulma, and I freaking loved it. It takes me back to the younger days of Bulma, where she was just like grabbing somebody and shaking them and like hitting them, and it's like, come on, like, like it's just her reactions. Her reactions and Jacko's actions are just amazing. Like, he's only been on Earth for a little while around her, and he's already like afraid of her, just like everybody else. Like in the Battle of the Gods, Goku was afraid of her. Like, everybody's afraid of her. But Frieza's really kicking Goku's ass. I did like they did a little spot where Goku bit Frieza's tail, and it reminded me of Dragon Ball Z, and I thought that was awesome. Then he goes on. There was a really cool scene with that, with Frieza after he gets his tail bitten, where Goku jumps around behind him and tries to kick him. Oh, I'm sorry. First he gives him a chop to the back, and then he tries to spin, like hit him with his elbow, and he's just like, Frieza stops it. I thought that was an amazing spot. Frieza then goes on to beat the ever-living crap out of Goku, which is amazing. We had a week off of Dragon Ball Super. Animation this episode was great. There was a few parts where it kind of messed up, but way better, and they fixed what they didn't fix in last time's preview, because Frieza looks a lot better in that scene than he did when I put in the last video, I put in the predictions that picture, I mean, that was the old animation, and they've totally fixed it up. But Frieza's just dominating, and I just love Frieza's doing all these cool moves. Like, he's really like showing up Goku. At this point, you can see that Frieza is more strong than Goku is. Like, Frieza's just straight up kicking his ass. He's just like, he knocks him to the ground. He's just beating him all around, and everybody's worried. And then they're up in the air after Frieza knocks him out again, and after Frieza's remembering all the times that he fought, like, not all the times, but the time he fought Goku and how humiliated he was. That's still his driving force behind all of this. He's been waiting for this day, and he's pretty much done everything he could to try and cherish it. He picks him up. I love how Frieza uses his tail too in this particular like series fight. Like, Frieza is just gripping Goku around his tail a lot, and like the fight scenes. A lot of people were saying Battle of Gods, not Battle of Gods. It was the wrong Resurrection F. But a lot of people were saying Resurrection F, the movie, was good, and I do agree those fight scenes may have been a little better. I didn't like the 3D, but I did like Frieza was holding Goku up by his arm with his tail, and like holding his other arm, and then he uses his free hand to basically put to Goku's chest, saying, "This is it, Goku. This is where I will kill you and finally get my revenge." At this point, everybody is freaking out, because after Frieza does this, there's a huge explosion, like amazing explosion. Then this series does a little something that the Resurrection F movie did not, and I do gotta say, I like it. You see Frieza, you physically, with your eyes, see Frieza weakening. Jacko says that Goku's still alive, and they wonder why, and then we see Frieza panting, like straight up breathing a lot, like just breathing heavily to the point where he looks like he's getting exhausted. And it's funny that it's Vegeta that happens to be the one to tell Goku that he was getting a little winded. Goku didn't notice it at first, but then once Vegeta says something, he says he wants to tag in now. Goku's like, no, just give me a little bit more time. Give me a little bit more time. And you can see Frieza just panting. Goku does notice something's wrong though, but it takes him a little quicker than Vegeta did to see it. And at this point, Goku, from this point, creates a plan. They don't really say this outright, but it's clearly he makes a plan because he starts to tell Frieza that this is it. The battle's going to change suddenly. And Frieza's like, what are you talking about? I have this battle won. You're just bluffing, trying to get me to get sloppy so that you can take advantage. But at this point, Goku creates a plan, and this is what the title was referring to. Goku powers up to classic Dragon Ball. That wasn't my full power. This is my full power. He puts his full power up, and then Frieza to goat Frieza in, and it totally works. Frieza, he expands his energy and uses his full power. Both of their auras are just clashing against each other, and now they're fighting with these auras. And it's kind of funny because it's similar to how it was in the beginning of the fight, really. I mean, they just kind of go, they kind of even do the same spots. They do some punches, they jump back, they do some ki blast shoots. They do get some good hits in, and I do gotta say the fight scenes with the aura is really awesome. And before anything else, I'm not gonna specifically put music moments, but the music in this episode, at least in my opinion, was great. I felt like the first song I heard, I think it was like when Frieza starts to really show how bad a mother trucker he is. The music in this episode, Sumitomo, I liked it. I'm not one of those people who are hating on it like a lot of people, but yeah, it's amazing. But Frieza goes on to do some ki blast to Goku. Goku doesn't just ki blast the whole time. This time he tries to avoid them, and Frieza chases him pretty much with the ki blast, shooting at him, trying to stop him. They make that big cloud of dust, and then he goes in. Goku's ready to guard himself. Frieza comes in with a punch to Goku's arms. At this point, Frieza starts to turn the tide again, and he starts to beat the ever-loving crap out of Goku. At this point, Goku is getting beat again and again and again and again and again, to the point where Goku eventually is thrown to the ground and he's on his almost last leg. Frieza comes down, cocky as all hell, dropping to the floor, basically once again saying that this is it, this is going to be the end. And it looks like it's going to be the end. And then Frieza does the final punch to take Goku out. Except it's not. At this point, Goku's plan works. He has made Frieza exhaust what little energy he has left. And now his punch literally does nothing to Goku, to the point where Goku just stands there and he it's like, no, Frieza, we're over with. This is it. You've hit your limit. And Frieza's like, what? At this point, Goku grabs Frieza's hand, and then he knocks him a fuck away. Bam! Then we go into a similar situation. Everybody's happy, as in the movie, oh my god, Goku, he's coming back, he's turned the tide. Oh, Dad, you're so amazing. Oh, I can't believe it. And Frieza's like, this is impossible. How? And Goku starts to explain to him his weakness. Very important that he explains to him his weakness. He mentioned earlier he would notice eventually. But at this point, Goku mentions his weakness. And unlike in the movie where this was a plan that Frieza came up with, this is Sorbet's plan in this version of the story. The little dirty trick that comes next. We all saw it coming if you saw the Resurrection F movie. Goku goes on to tell him his weakness, and I gotta have to say, Goku's a bit of a hypocrite in this compared to how he was in the movie. With Resurrection F, it seems like Goku and Vegeta has unlocked these forms for quite some time, and in a hyperbolic time chamber-like place or not, Goku and Vegeta did just develop these Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan forms. Even if he's gonna use the whole you got your golden form and came here right away thing, it kind of makes no sense in a sense, because Goku's already done the same thing. But maybe Goku's transformation is different and he understood his limits, and that it essentially had no limits. while Frieza did not understand. Golden Frieza is pretty much Frieza's Super Saiyan 3. But Frieza, ever the vigilant fighter, he tries to fight back to the point where Goku just ends up. Goku's like, Frieza, you're done. You can't beat me. Very similar to how it was in the past, which obviously is just going to get Frieza's goat even more. Now he's getting completely trounced by Goku. He can't even get a hit in. He goes to punch him. Goku just kind of tosses him to the side. Frieza, he's just getting really, like, annoyed. Then we see Sorbet getting ready to do a little trick. And, of course, this is where things differ from the movie in a good way. A lot of people, I think this solves a lot of issue that the movie people had with this scene with the laser. In this series, Goku loses the Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan form and drops to his base. Now you can't argue that he is still in the Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan form and gets hit by the laser. At this point, he literally drops his guard to the point where he drops down to his original base level. And Goku even says, like, come on, Frieza, it's time for you to go home. I'll take you on any time. Oh my God, Goku's hit with the laser. And the scene was quite gut-wrenching, gotta say. Like, poor Goku. That looked very painful. I don't know, it looked more painful in this than it did in the movie. I think it's because he was in his base form. Then Frieza goes on to, hurt Goku and, really put pressure on that wound after he says that Sorbet he basically says, you're not completely useless, Sorbet. I like that Frieza's like a lot more of a dick to Sorbet in the series than he was in the movie. They don't seem as much as a team. It's just like Sorbet just trying to prove himself to Frieza pretty much. And he came up with this plan, and that's that. No. It's interesting to note, this is where the episode nears its end. It's interesting to note, however, that they completely cut out the whole Vegeta being offered a job with Frieza thing. And basically Vegeta goes on to say, well, I guess I'll just kill you myself now. Because in this story, it wasn't that Frieza stops and gets Vegeta to come in and finish Goku off, but instead Frieza is about to finish Goku off. I'm about to say Vegeta. He's about to finish Goku off. Kind of similar. This scene, of course, sets the scene similar to how in Namek Vegeta was in a similar situation. But, I mean, at this point, Frieza's about to kill Goku, and this is when Vegeta decides it's his turn to step in. Frieza shoots a blast that's meant to kill Goku, and Vegeta stops it with one of his own blasts. At this point, we begin the next episode. Preview starts up after it's teased. Vegeta and Frieza are about to go head to head, so to speak. Frieza's going to get his ass whooped next episode by Vegeta, it would seem. And that leads us into our predictions. Let's go. Okay, so the predictions next episode. Wow. I don't know what to say about the next episode predictions, because this is going to be the end. I'm excited. I hope everybody else is excited. This is the end. This is brand new stuff. Like, I'm not following the manga right now ahead of the anime, so I'm excited. I don't know what's happening next, and I am, like, jumping for joy. I'm impressed, like, all hell. So the next episode is going to be the end of the Resurrection F arc. Either that, or it's going to end with Frieza destroying the Earth, and then the next episode we'll find out about Whis' ability to time control. Because at least in the series, they have not gone and said that Whis can do time control. They haven't hinted at it or anything like that. Then we're just going to go on to, well, this has got to be mentioned. The ending credits has changed, and I love the song, first of all. It's really cool. It's showing... I'm not a huge Naruto fan. I'm probably going to get shit for this, but this kind of feels Naruto-esque, with just all the heroes standing, looking out into the open, plains with rose petals, I believe sakura leaves flying around them, which makes little to no sense because they're like in the mountain terrain and all these, I don't know where these flowers came from, but it's aesthetically pleasing, so I guess that's what matters. They're all in their Resurrection F get-ups. I like it because it's like we're looking on to the future. We don't know. And if you're like most fans like myself, we don't know what lies ahead, but we're looking out to see what lies ahead. And during this moment, we see some like family moments with Goku and his kin, and Vegeta and Trunks training in their little room, which I thought was really cool. It looks like a scene like as if after Frieza's dead, this is what would happen, minus Piccolo standing, you know, because of course he'd be dead, and I guess Goten and Trunks would come back. But I mean, I could see it be like a scene like straight out from the end of Resurrection F, except Yamcha shows up somewhere, because I don't even know why Yamcha's there. They show Pilaf and the gang, which I guess they're like now official like Dragon Ball good guy characters. They'll pop in for like some jokes here and there. And this was very, but like, why I say Naruto is just because it's just heroes looking out with Sakura leaves flying around. I guess it's more not really Naruto, more classic anime type of ending. The song was great. I enjoyed it verily, and I really like the little scenes of family. This ending is really nice. And it ends in the perfect way. It's funny. I hate to do something else. I'm gonna get a lot of shit for this too. It reminds me, the ending kind of reminds me of GT, but this is kind of a Goku thing, where he turns and he gives a thumb up to the camera as if saying everything's going to be alright. Then we do a little picture of the Sakura leaves, and then the characters coming into view. Yamcha's there for some reason, I don't know why. But I really like this ending. Then we go on, you know, the next preview, and I just talked about all that. But yeah, this is going to be the end of the Resurrection F saga next. Either next episode is going to be Frieza getting his ass handed to him by Vegeta, and I am okay with that. I'm a little confused to why they took out the thing with Vegeta being offered a job, but at the same time, I thought it was kind of weird that it was happened that way anyway, so it's probably best they remove that. It's kind of similar to like in Battle of the Gods, where Goku was complaining about being a god. I'm glad that they removed that from the series as well, because I didn't like that. I didn't feel like that was Goku's character at all. Anyway, that's this week's review. We're done. Next week is going to be great. It's going to be the beginning of who knows, and the excitement in my reviews are going to go even higher next week. That's all for now, though. Thanks for subscribing, thanks for watching, and thank you for the new subscribers. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm glad that you support me, and keep on keeping on. We're just going to keep growing and growing until we are done non-stop. Let's go!